Hello, everybody. I recently did a video with my colleague, Astrology, and on this video, we were talking about relationships through the Atmakaraka, or self-indicator, Dharakaraka, or relationship indicator, and the Nakshatras. And a lot of new people found the Nakshatras through this particular video, but perhaps didn't understand a little bit about what the Nakshatras were about. And there were a lot of questions about which kingdom each nakshatra fell into. And so I thought today we'd talk a little bit about what nakshatras are for some of you newcomers to the channel, in addition to what kingdom each nakshatra is in, as well as what those kingdoms are about. And so I'm going to take you into a PowerPoint video where we can talk a little bit about these particular concepts. If you're interested in scheduling the relationship consultation that I mentioned on Astrolada's channel, you can actually do that, the special relationship consultation, which looks at the relationship style through these three factors in the horoscope. That can be scheduled through the link that you're going to see above. And if you'd like to learn a little bit more about nakshatras and things along those lines, I'm going to go over that here in just a moment, and I'll also give you a link to my online academy here in just a few minutes. Most followers of astrology of any type know about the sky being carved up into 12 equal portions, which are referred to as the signs. Actually, what's going on with that is it's something called the ecliptic, which is being divided. And the ecliptic is the path of the sun as it goes from solstice to solstice. So when that ecliptic is divided into 12 equal portions, that creates what we know as the zodiac and each of the individual zodiac signs, which are known as the Rashis in Vedic astrology. But there is another way of dividing the heavens, which divides the realm of the fixed stars. And these divisions are, again, equal portions of 13 degrees and 20 minutes, whereas a zodiac sign is exactly 30 degrees, sorry. And there are 27 nakshatras, each of which are 13 degrees and 20 minutes. And we're going to talk just about the kingdom of these nakshatras today and what the kingdom of the nakshatras is actually about. So I'm going to move on to the next slide so we can do that. Nakshatras will belong to one of three kingdoms: the mineral kingdom, which is called the Dhatu kingdom; the plant kingdom, which is also called the Mula kingdom; or the animal kingdom, which is also called the Jiva kingdom. Now, each of these individual kingdoms that are connected to the nakshatras has a specific focus or lesson for the planet that is placed in it in alignment with the kingdom. And there are many other different ways to understand the nakshatras and the energies of each nakshatra through various attributes. If you're interested in learning more about these other attributes and about the nakshatras themselves, I do have an online academy which contains a full course on the nakshatras, as well as many other Vedic astrology courses. Memberships for that online academy start at $29.99 per month, and you can find information on how to register at the link above. Okay, so let's go over each of these individual kingdoms and what each of these kingdoms is really all about, starting with the mineral kingdom. So think of the qualities of a rock. Rocks are very solid. We stand or live on a very big rock, which is moving through space. And if you think about the fact that this big rock that we're all living on generally tends to spin rather quickly and also moves around other heavenly bodies, you can see how important the concept of steadiness and strength is with the concept of rocks. Okay, so with mineral nakshatras, the lesson is how to be strong within yourself, how to be self-supportive, First and foremost, being self-supportive, so that one can then, once one is self-supportive enough, be strong enough to be of support to others. So mineral nakshatras and whatever planet is placed in a mineral nakshatra are learning lessons of how to be solid. So let's say, for instance, a career indicator happened to be placed in mineral nakshatra. Well, the individual is learning how to be strong and self-supportive within their career, how to handle tasks, by themselves without need of support, and equally how to help others out in their tasks. Let's say if this is the third house lord, which is in a mineral nakshatra. Well, the third house deals with siblings, so one might have a sibling that's very supportive, or a sibling who's learning a lesson of how to be self-supportive as well as to be supportive of other family members. But when times are difficult for mineral nakshatras, they generally fall into a trap of feeling as if no one is supportive of them or the path that they are on. So each of these kingdoms functions in two different polarities. There's the strong polarity and there's the weaker polarity. So with mineral nakshatras, when they're in their strength, they're self-supportive and they're able to be of deeper support to others. But when they're weak, they may feel as if nobody is there to support them, as if nobody is there for them. Okay, and that's when they're usually needing to tune in to taking care of themselves and supporting themselves, so that they don't really feel that they need that support quite as much. So with plant nakshatras, let's go into that for a moment. If you look at a plant, you'll notice over time it grows in many different directions. And that's because plants generally will adapt in order to find the nourishment that they need in life. Plants take in sunlight and turn it into food for themselves. So they're always adapting in order to find the source of light. And equally with their roots will move in various areas in the soil in order to find the nourishment from the soil that they're also needing as well. So the lesson with the plant nakshatras, which are also called the Mula nakshatras, which isn't to be confused with a particular nakshatra that's actually called Mula nakshatra, but more on that later. So the lesson with plant nakshatras is adapting in order to find the nourishment that you need. In doing that, being able to be flexible is important. Knowing how to adapt when the things that we need are not on offer is also important. But sometimes with plant nakshatras, they become a bit overly adaptable. Right? They may kind of jump the gun on situations and go, oh, well, things aren't going well right now, so I'm just going to go get into another relationship. This relationship's not nourishing me, so I'm just going to go get into another relationship, right? Or this person's not nourishing me, so I'm going to go find nourishment elsewhere, right? I'm not happy in my job, so I'm going to go find the nourishment that I need from my job elsewhere. Rather than waiting and recognizing, if they just let themselves go through the change and adapt to the changes that are moving through their life by being firm, staying in one place and digging their roots in, they may actually have their needs fulfilled later on, or they might be able to find their needs by adapting further from within the situation that they're in. So plant nakshatras need to learn when to adapt and when there's not really any need to adapt, or maybe when the adaptation needs to happen more on an internal level. Quite often they're needing to learn how to be firm and dig their roots in more deeply. The animal kingdom, it's pretty simple. With the animal kingdom, it's the law of the jungle. You're either the alpha or you're not the alpha. It's eat or be eaten, it's dominate or submit, or it's lead or follow. So with animal nakshatras, the lesson is one of learning when to be assertive and when to take more of a backseat approach. As I was talking in the video that I had mentioned, when you have the relationship style of the animal nakshatra, what's going on with that is the person generally gravitates towards partners that are stronger than they are. But if the individual who finds the partner who's stronger than they are also has a lot of animal energy in their chart, then what will happen is when they find that one moment when they feel they're stronger than their partner is, then suddenly they'll have no more respect for their partner, and quite often those relationships end. So with planets that are in animal nakshatras, they're learning how to be assertive, when to be assertive, and when not to be assertive in various situations. Now, many people asked about the individual nakshatras. I'm going to put a link up in the video above, and that will take you to a free chart calculator, which if you enter your birth time, it'll calculate the positions of your planets, and it'll show the nakshatras of each of those individual planets. On the list where all the planets and their degrees are, if you want to find your Atmakaraka or self-indicator and the Darakaraka or relationship indicator, look for all of the planets, Sun through Saturn. Ignore the nodes, which are called Rahu and Ketu in Vedic astrology. Just look for Sun through Saturn. The planet that has the highest degrees in any sign, so the highest degrees in any sign in the zodiac, that's going to be your self planet or your Atmakaraka. The planet that has the lowest degrees, like closest to zero, right? Like, if you had one planet, let's say at 29 degrees in the chart, if there's no planet higher than 29 degrees, that's going to be the self indicator or the Atmakaraka, because it occupies the highest number of degrees of any sign in the chart. The planet that's closest to 0 degrees, right? That's going to be your Darakaraka or your relationship indicator. So I'm going to give you a list of the nakshatras, which is what a lot of people were wanting from that particular video. So you can go through and see which nakshatra your Darakaraka is in, your Atmakaraka is in, and you can understand the kingdom connected to those nakshatras. If you'll look, you'll see that generally they follow a specific order: mineral, plant, animal, and it just repeats itself over and over again. So we'll go through this list. The first nakshatra is Ashwini Nakshatra, which is a mineral nakshatra. The second is Bharani Nakshatra, which is a plant nakshatra. The third is Kritika, which is an animal nakshatra. Rohini is the fourth nakshatra, that's mineral. Mrigashira is a plant nakshatra. Ardra is an animal nakshatra. Punarvasu, which is the seventh nakshatra, is mineral again. Pusha is a plant nakshatra. Magha, that's a mineral nakshatra. Purva Falguni, that's a plant nakshatra. Uttara Falguni, that's an animal nakshatra. Hasta, that's a mineral nakshatra. Chitra, that's a plant nakshatra. Swati, that's an animal nakshatra. Vishaka, that's a mineral nakshatra. Anuradha, that's a plant nakshatra. Jeshta is an animal nakshatra. Mula, even though it's the same word as plant, actually Mula Nakshatra is a mineral nakshatra. Purva Ashada, that's a plant nakshatra. Uttara Ashada, that's an animal nakshatra. Shravana, that's a mineral nakshatra. Dhanishta is a plant nakshatra. Shatabhishak is an animal nakshatra. Purva Bhadrapada is a mineral nakshatra. Uttara Bhadrapada is a plant nakshatra. And Revati is an animal nakshatra. Now, as I mentioned, each of these nakshatras has many other attributes which help you to understand the nakshatras more completely and what their energies are really all about, because just like the signs, they also have their special individual energies. And if you'd like to learn more about the Nakshatras in full, as mentioned, I do have an online academy with several webinar courses. One of those courses is called The Esoteric and Therapeutic Secrets of the Nakshatras. And you can have access to that course plus many others with a $29.99 membership to the Pulse of the Universe Academy of Vedic Astrology. The link to that you will find above. If you're interested in learning about your self planet and the kingdom of its nakshatra, and your relationship planet and the kingdom of its nakshatra, as I mentioned, you can schedule the special relationship consultation, which will be found on my astrological services page, which you'll also find linked above. That's going to do it for this look at the kingdom of the nakshatras. Until next time, where I most certainly hope that you'll join us again, please do take the very best care of yourself. Bye now.